Hi, I'm Carol Andrews for this special episode of Southwest TV News as we continue on with our countdown of the top 10 stories of 2012. Now let's take a look back at the first half of our countdown. In at number 10, Swift Current's new city council is sworn in. Number 9, Great Plains College signs an MOU for a new nursing degree program. In at number 8, accidents continue at a Gull Lake intersection. Coming in at number 7, 2 BC men are off to jail following Saskatchewan's largest drug bust. And our number 6 story, the active weather of the summer of 2012. Continuing on with the countdown, in at number 5, the Saskatchewan Hockey Hall of Fame held its first induction dinner in Swift Current. The top players, teams, and other individuals who have made their mark in the sport of hockey are being honored in the Saskatchewan Hockey Hall of Fame. Located at the Credit Union iPlex in Swift Current, the Hall of Fame welcomed a number of alumni, family, and friends to the 2012 inaugural induction dinner. The event was a homecoming for Val Murray's own Bryan Trottier and 7-time Stanley Cup winner. The famous NHLer started his career on the ice with the Swift Current and Lethbridge Broncos before being drafted in 1975 to the New York Islanders and then on to the Pittsburgh Penguins. Now, several years later, after playing and coaching in the NHL, Trottier is overwhelmed to be recognized in his home province.
It is really kind of a neat little tribute, and it's a wonderful little kind of icing on the cake, so to speak, because to have it in my backyard, I'm only 70 miles south of here, and to have this Swift Current as one of my stepping stones onto something other, the NHL and Stanley Cups and all the cool things that happened after that is really kind of neat, and to share it with this little community and thank them for it. I mean, it's really kind of nice.
The 1989 Swift Current Broncos were also in the spotlight for their memorable efforts in the WHL, which brought together many former teammates, including Sheldon Kennedy for the Hall of Fame induction.
There's a lot of powerful names in there in the game of hockey, and it's got such a rich history of in this province. The game of hockey does, and going all the way back to Gordie Howes and farther than that. So, and I think that our team, the '89 team, there was lots of us that were on the bus accident, and then being able to win the Memorial Cup here. I think junior hockey in most cases shapes the lives of people and the teams and the people that surround them.
And as fans of all ages lined up for autographs with hockey's all-time greats, the newly formed Saskatchewan Hockey Hall of Fame brought back many fond memories for the likes of Fred Sasakamoose, who was the first Aboriginal player in the NHL when he stepped onto the ice with the Chicago Blackhawks in 1953.
Thinking about Toronto Maple Leaf Gardens, my first game in NHL. Being an Indian was what you call them. I think it was a blessing for me to be one of them. But I had a lot of coaches also. The white people have been really great. Look at it now today. Tonight, it's going to be a terrific night for me.
Glenn Hall made his hometown of Humboldt proud throughout his NHL career, with the Detroit Red Wings, Chicago Blackhawks, and St. Louis Blues. His well-known butterfly style of goaltending continues to be the talk of many in the industry to this day, and holds the record for most consecutive games started by a goaltender. An accomplishment which Hall says he never really set out to do.
I just wanted to play hockey. I didn't even think about the NHL, just to be able to play hockey. And I'm sure every young fella today, that's what he wants to do. Maybe when you lie down in bed at night, you think, well, boy, the NHL. And if you make it, that's great. The odds are not good, so have fun wherever you're playing.
Now, with the first round of inductees honored in the Saskatchewan Hockey Hall of Fame, the facility will soon be open to the public as the finishing touches are put in place.
Well, we're really fortunate, and I think as a community we're going to take real care that we make sure we're a good steward of it and share it with the rest of the province. But we're a great location on the Highway 1 and 4, and you know what? We're fortunate. It was a gift from Mark Habscheid to have it here in Swift Current, and it's a great spot for it and a great facility.
Future induction dinners will rotate around the province, with the 2013 Saskatchewan Hockey Hall of Fame induction set for Regina. Nominations are now being accepted until September the 1st. Coming in at number 4, 2 men were sent off to jail for their involvement in the death of a Swift Current man. A long-standing manslaughter case came to a close in Queens Bench Court in Swift Current on June 28th. 21-year-old John Donovan Park, seen in the white-colored T-shirt, and 24-year-old Raymond Lynn Davis were sentenced to prison in connection in the death of 44-year-old Roland Ruist. Park will spend 7 years in jail, less 2 months already served. Meanwhile, Davis will serve 7 years, less 26 months' time already served. Both are prohibited from using or owning a firearm or related material for 10 years and must submit to DNA samples as requested. The case stems back to April 6, 2010, when the body of Ruist was discovered in a Swift Current home. Park was arrested on April 16th, served 2 months in custody, then released on strict conditions. Meanwhile, Davis was arrested on April 19th and was taken immediately into custody with no chance of bail and spent 26 months in Regina remand to date. In the courtroom, the Crown set the scene of what transpired and led to the death of Roland Ruist. On the evening of April the 5th, Davis, along with an unnamed adult and a youth who cannot be named due to his age, went to Ruist's home and bought 1 gram of cocaine and split it 3 ways. The evening continued with heavy drinking and more drugs. Sometime later, now after midnight, Davis convinced Park and the unnamed youth to go back to Ruist's home with the intent to steal money or drugs from the victim. The youth stayed in the vehicle while Park and Davis entered the home through a back door. At this time, court heard that Park grabbed Ruist and held him by the neck, while Davis searched the home for drugs or money. On several occasions, Davis came back and hit Ruist on various parts of his body while demanding the money and drugs. Meanwhile, Park continued to hold grip firm around the victim's neck. After a period of time believed to be some 10 to 15 minutes, the duo fled the scene and never looked back. The court then heard that it was a day or two later that Park drove by Ruist's home and saw the police tape surrounding the perimeter and realized something horrible had happened. According to a pathologist's report, the cause of death was due to manual strangulation. And although Park and Davis each played different roles in the death of Roland Ruist, the sentencing was arrived at mutually by the Crown and the defense.
And that's always a difficult thing too, isn't it? I guess we weighed in, as you heard in court, the fact that Mr. Park had no record. Mr. Davis had a significant record, but no violence on his record, really. Mr. Davis, of course, was the planner of this particular incident, and of course our view is that but for Mr. Davis, Mr. Park and the other young person would not have been involved at all. And then you look at Mr. Park, of course, he was the one who physically caused the death of Mr. Ruist. So when you looked at all of those factors, our view was that the appropriate thing would be to treat them equally, that they were equal players in this.
Meanwhile, the unnamed young offender received a sentence of 15 months in February of 2011 due to his role as the driver of the vehicle that evening. Herman further added that this particular case took longer than usual to reach the sentencing stage, due to the fact that Davis switched lawyers on numerous occasions, further extending the process for all involved. For an event which the judge called a senseless act, fueled by the ferocious appetite for drugs.
And I think this is a prime example where you look at somebody 19 years of age without any prior record, who his lawyer would say has not been involved in the drug scene before, yet can get himself so intoxicated or so involved with alcohol that he could be persuaded to be involved in this, and then unfortunately, go so far as to end up killing Mr. Ruist, when one would never expected him to have been involved in this activity.
Prior to sentencing, Davis and Park each pled guilty to the crime and had their opportunity to speak to the court. An emotional Park indicated that he was sorry to both Ruist's family and his own family as well. Davis, who read from a prepared statement, cited that he too was sorry, that his decision on April the 6th made a devastating turn in everyone's lives involved. He does not expect to be forgiven, hopes to be a role model for his daughter, and will always carry Roland Ruist close to his heart. And with 26 months now passed since the death of Roland Ruist, the court says the final sentencing for Park and Davis won't bring back a loved one, but will hopefully bring some sense of closure for the family.
Wishing the citizens of Swift Current the very best of the holiday season and into the new year, from Mayor Schaefer, City Council, and staff of the City of Swift Current.
Wishing you and yours a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year from the management and staff of Stuke Pharmacy and Leader.
Wishing you the best this holiday season and into the new year from the board, management, and staff of Innovation Credit Union.
Holiday greetings from the Cypress Health region. On behalf of our 1,700-member team of staff, management, physicians, and board of directors, I would like to extend our best wishes to the residents of the Southwest during this joyous time. It's a time for families and friends to get together and enjoy the spirit of the season. May 2013 be a year of health, happiness, and prosperity for you and yours. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year from the Cypress Health Region.
A $1 million donation to the Dr. Noble Irwin Regional Healthcare Foundation comes in as our third biggest story of 2012. The Dr. Noble Irwin Regional Healthcare Foundation received a major fundraising boost this week, thanks to the Orange Benevolent Society of Saskatchewan. The $1 million donation to the Health Foundation is part of a series of non-announcements by the Indian Head-based organization, as it wraps up its own charitable work in the province by 2014.
We're dissolving our organization, so we're putting back to the communities that supported us some of our assets. And Swift Current area has been very supportive of us over the years, and so this is the reason it's being returned.
The Orange Benevolent Society could not disclose the total value of donations set for distribution across the province, as all have not been presented at this point. But they did state that the $1 million for Southwest Saskatchewan was one of the largest. A welcome gift overall by the Dr. Noble Irwin Regional Healthcare Foundation, as it continues its work of ensuring quality health care for the residents of Southwest Saskatchewan. And as far as how the foundation plans to use the funding from the Orange Benevolent Society, Executive Director Clay Thompson states he and his team will carefully look at the needs of the region, with a focus on children and seniors' health care needs.
I'd like to try and disperse about 80% of the money we bring in on an annual basis. So that puts a little bit of pressure on us to do some things between now and the end of the year. But again, we would like to keep some reserve for the next big project, which would likely be the integrated facility. So, and also, let's not forget Leader is doing their integrated facility. Their budgets are, in place now. So there's going to be some things needed up in that neck of the woods. And we can't forget our rural areas either.
Thompson further adds that although the $1 million donation is a great start to this year's fundraising campaign, the need for donations continues.
We want to encourage people to keep us in mind. I guess we could put a slightly different spin on it if the Orange Benevolent Society entrusts us with a gift of this side. Surely, the goodness, your $100 check should be used effectively as well. So we're excited about it, but we sure don't want the community to say, well, I guess we're done for this year, because no, we've got lots to do. There's still $3.6 million worth of capital needs on the region's list. So while we can do some damage with some of it, there's still quite a bit to be done.
Since its inception in 1999, the Dr. Noble Irwin Regional Healthcare Foundation has raised millions of dollars, purchasing a variety of critical care equipment and other furnishings for healthcare facilities across Southwest Saskatchewan.
All the best this holiday season and into the new year from the management and staff of Pinnacle Financial Services in Swift Current.
Wishing you the best this holiday season and into the new year from Yogi Hugabear, MLA for Wood River. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year from Gus, Louie, and George at the K Steakhouse and Motel. Book your Christmas party or New Year's celebration today. Wishing you and yours a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year from David Anderson, Member of Parliament for Cypress Hills Grasslands. Wishing you the best this holiday season and into the new year from the town of Maple Creek, Southwest Saskatchewan's hub for holiday shopping and dining. Up next at number 2, 2012 was a big year for the Lyric Theatre in Swift Current as it celebrated its centennial and received a major financial boost for its building upgrades. Over the past year, the Southwest Cultural Development Group has been busy raising funds for the Lyric Legacy Capital campaign in an effort to raise $500,000 locally. 2 marquee sponsors came on board to the tune of $50,000 each through the generous support of Innovation Credit Union and Standard Motors. The city of Swift Current followed with $250,000, and now the federal government has come on board as well.
So I am therefore very pleased to announce on behalf of Stephen Harper and the Conservative government that today, as part of the Building Communities through Arts and Heritage program, we are providing $500,000 in support.
A pleasing announcement which the crowd was so exuberant about that it didn't even let the local MP finish. And welcome news for the Southwest Cultural Development Group, who now state that upgrades to the Lyric will go forward on a number of fronts.
And that being that we know that we have problems on our roof that need to be addressed. And so once we get that addressed, then we are knowing that we have some work that needs to be done with the bricks. We really want to spend some time restoring the front of the building, bringing it back to its old glory. So those things will happen, but as I say, it's all in phases. And so our first priority is to make the building very structurally sound so that we will have a wonderful building 100 years from now.
An investment by the federal government, which MP David Anderson says was well deserved of by the Swift Current Group.
Well, we've supported arts and culture across the country. We've spent more money on arts and culture now than any government in the history of Canada, so we're very supportive of it. These are the kinds of projects that I think are particularly valuable, where you can invest in infrastructure in a community, and it's up to the local people then to make use of it and take advantage of it. And certainly with the group of volunteers that they've had here, they have put many hours and all kinds of energy into this. The least we can do is to back them up.
And with the Lyric well on the path to restoration during its centennial year, the city's mayor further emphasizes his support of the project and how the Lyric complements the downtown core.
I always say a very important part of a growing and well-rounded community is a thriving arts and cultural component to it, and this just adds to that in Swift Current.
And with a mere $20,000 shy of the targeted $1 million in the fundraising campaign, Ewer states she and her committee will continue to ask for support from local residents and businesses, with a long road still ahead for additional building upgrades at the Lyric.
You know, an estimate that it is going to probably cost to restore the whole building probably $5 million, and so we are 1/5 of the way there. We have, with the funds that we have now available for us, it is going to be showing that we can save the building. But as far as being able to utilize the whole building, we're definitely going to need more funds.
The Southwest Cultural Development Group, along with P3 Architecture, will put out the call for tenders in the next few weeks. And if all goes according to plan, contract work on the Lyric could begin by the fall.
Wishing you the best this holiday season and into the new year from the management and staff of Living Sky Casino.
Wishing you and yours a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year from Mayor Sharon Dickey, Council, and staff of the town of Shaunavon.
All the best this holiday season and into the new year from the management and staff of Diamond Energy Services in Swift Current.
Amongst the hustle and bustle of the holidays, try to spend some extra time with your family. Whether it's reading by the fire after a big meal, playing a game with grandparents, or venturing outside to just play in the snow. On behalf of the Chinook Board and staff, I would like to wish you a joyous, fun-filled holiday season and best wishes for the new year.
Christmas is upon us once again, and with it comes a flurry of activities that this season brings. As we take a moment to still our hearts and reflect on the events of the past year, may you be filled with peace and joy this holiday season. Christmas is the greatest story ever told. Christmas is about God's love for us, expressed through the birth of His Son, the baby Jesus. As we celebrate with family and friends, let us remember to show His love and compassion to those around us. On behalf of my wife Marilyn, family, and office staff, have a blessed Christmas and a wonderful New Year.
And the #1 story of 2012. It's been over 40 years in the making, as sod was finally turned for the construction of 2 new schools in Swift Current. Provincial and local dignitaries joined representatives of the Chinook and Holy Trinity School Divisions for the official sod turning of 2 new schools in Swift Current. The combined project between the 2 school divisions is slated at $51 million, with over $33 million invested by the province of Saskatchewan.
It's just a great example of how we can accomplish things when we work together to achieve one goal, and really look forward to this facility being completed and having an opportunity to come back and see it in action. Congratulations to the City of Swift Current. It's fantastic.
The new All Saints Catholic School and École Centennial School will span 120,000 square feet on 18 acres of land, with the division sharing a number of areas, such as a resource center and band room, along with a boiler room and central air conditioning system. A winning solution for all involved.
Probably the best way to leverage the use of dollars and to work together would be to work in partnership with Chinook and look at pre-K to grade 8 rather than just a middle school. And so we've been working closely together for the last 3 years, and to actually turn the sod today is a wonderful, wonderful experience.
And with Westridge Construction Limited now on site, the project will move forward on a tight schedule.
We are on track. We're on a very tight timeline over the next 2 years. We don't have much leeway, but things are moving forward, and we want to open this school fall 2014 in conjunction with Swift Current's Centennial.
And with the school project well underway, Premier Brad Wall hopes this is just the start of a larger scale endeavor near the Cypress Regional Hospital.
That's the next priority for me as the local MLA. We have long-term care facilities that need replacing. So we've already made the announcement that we're going ahead with that. There's a request for proposal process out there, and we're going to have them all co-located, and they're all going to be in this area. There might also be a city project down the road. We're not sure, but we're going to have, this is going to be obviously the new part of the city in terms of residential development. The hospital's here, and so to have this joint use school and down the road a long-term care facility, it makes a lot of sense. And we'll have modern facilities both for our kids, but also for seniors and those who need long-term care.
The new Centennial School and All Saints Catholic School will mark the first new schools to be constructed in Swift Current in over 40 years. Well, this brings to a close our countdown of the top 10 stories of 2012. From all of us here at Southwest TV News, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.